Alright, I recently got a comment saying that the 16 gigabytes of internal storage on the Leica T is actually upgradable, and it's actually just a micro SD card sitting behind this plastic panel on this SD card slot that you can pretty much just take out and put in whatever sized micro SD card you want to in there to upgrade the internal storage on the Leica T. Now, since this has 16 gigabytes of internal storage, which, you know, it's a decent amount, it holds a couple hundred photos, but I just so happen to have a 128 gigabyte micro SD card just laying around. So I'm gonna try to upgrade from 16 gigs to 128 gigs of internal storage to try to modernize the Leica T even more and be able to fit like almost 10 times the amount of photos on the internal storage. Now here's the thing, I looked into this a little bit and I could not find anything on Google, on YouTube, or anywhere about somebody actually doing this or how to do this or anything like that. Just this comment I received on one of my videos. So today we're taking out the iFixit toolkit and I'm going to try to pull this apart and take a look behind here and see if we can find this micro SD card slot and try to upgrade the internal storage on my Leica T. Now hypothetically it should be pretty simple. It's supposedly just these two screws on this plastic panel, and this will just kind of pop off and expose the micro SD card slot. But let's go ahead and find that out. So first of all, we need a really small Phillips head screwdriver, it looks like, and there's just two screws right in there. Now before doing this, I actually put this SD card into the camera and formatted it in the Leica T, just so it's already formatted in the camera, and hopefully it'll recognize and actually be able to utilize a 128 gigabyte SD card. Now also a quick disclaimer, do not try this at home. I would not recommend this at all. There is a chance I could break the camera or totally destroy it or do something like that. And of course, I'm sure it's not recommended at all from Leica. Because like I said, I couldn't even find a single thing, tutorial, or anybody talking about this online, except like I said, that comment I got on my video. All right, there you go. One screw is out, and these are tiny little screws. I gotta make sure not to lose those. Let's go ahead and get this last one out right here. All right, there we go. Two little screws out right there. Now let's see if we can just pop this panel off. Doesn't seem like it wants to come off. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pry it just a little bit without damaging anything here. Looks like it's trying to do something. I just really don't want to damage anything on this. I don't see any other screws or anything that looks like it needs to come out beforehand. I'm just gonna kind of keep working at this and see what I can do. We're kind of getting somewhere on part of this. I just can't tell if there's adhesive, if there's little clips, or how it's being held on there. I really do not want to break this. I'm trying my best not to. Obviously, if I do, it's completely my fault, but let's see. I think I'm getting somewhere though. I think we're good to go, but I definitely see something down in there. Oh my gosh, look at that. All right, I'm not sure how well you're gonna be able to see this. That's a little micro SD card. Let me try to pull that out. Looks like we got a little Toshiba 16 gigabyte, 30 megabit per second micro SD card here. That's a pretty slow SD card. I mean, it makes sense because this came out in 2014, but it looks like our SanDisk Ultra Plus is gonna be a little bit of an upgrade from this tiny little 16 gigabyte, 30 megabit per second card here. So let's get that card out of there. I'm obviously gonna keep that just in case. I really don't know if this is just gonna function like normal or if there's some special way they formatted this card, or it's like, I don't know, works within some special way. It's not a Leica card, it's a just regular Toshiba card, so I'm guessing really any brand or type of card is gonna work. But that's pretty crazy. It almost makes me wish there was like a different door you could buy for this where it keeps both of those exposed, where you can just have dual SD card slots. That'd be kind of crazy, but either way, let's go ahead and try to get this in here, see if it works and see if it powers on. I should be able to try to test this, you know, without having to put this all back together and see if it works before I permanently enclose this 128 gig card in there. I'm still a little nervous. This is a pretty rare camera, but let's go ahead and put this in here and see what happens. There we go, 128 gigs SanDisk card is in the Leica T. There shouldn't be anything stopping me from powering this on how it is right here. So I'm just gonna make sure not to touch anything in there. Let's go ahead and power this on real quick. All right, so with this 16 gigabyte card, the amount of photos I could fit on this, which it shows like in the bottom right, was around 400, I believe. It was like 400 something photos would fit on the 16 gig card. Let's see what that number is now with 128 gigabytes. Look at that, 3,916 photos. That already is telling me that it's showing up, it's functioning. Let me just try to take a few photos real quick. Took a few, let's see, okay. 3,915 is the number on there right now. 3913, look at that. So it's taking photos. I obviously don't have a lens on here right now, but the photos are still showing up, it looks like. We just successfully upgraded from 16 gigabytes to 128 gigabytes of internal storage on the Leica T. That is crazy. I still can't recommend anybody do this, but if you do have a Leica T, it is possible to upgrade the internal storage. That is crazy. I'm sure it's a lot faster too, because I did actually notice there was a very definite speed difference when it comes to like taking and storing photos on the internal storage versus the SD. Originally with the internal storage, every time I took a picture, it would take a few seconds to load and store the photo onto the SD card. And I can already tell it's definitely a little bit faster storing to the SD card with this SanDisk versus, you know, the original 16 gig storage. So it's not only a storage size difference, it's also a speed difference on the internal storage. I really wish more cameras had internal storage built in like that, and obviously still SD card slots, but I really think any new camera should come with at least a little bit of internal storage just in case you forget an SD card or something like that, just as a little bit of a backup, even if it's a little bit. Like, I mean, I guess nowadays even 64 gigabytes isn't a very large amount. But either way, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, go drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.